Hello, cruel, cruel world. My name is Dr. 𝐂𝐬𝐲𝐚. I'm a consultant forensic psychiatrist. I assess mentally disordered offenders for a living so that you don't have to. You can call me the ominous 𝐂𝐻𝐿. So, the Doctor Strange actress Zara Phythian was recently convicted of child sex offences. According to many articles in the news, she herself was groomed by the married mixed martial artist who eventually became her husband, Victor Marke, when she was just 14 and he was 37, and he was married at the time. She apparently became his slave before starting this sexual affair. So this is like a very twisted, convoluted tale with very much muddied waters. So let's sift through some of them together and see what we can learn. So, what was the background of Zara Phythian? She herself was a victim of grooming. Does that excuse or at least explain some of her behaviour at all? What are the signs that your child might be groomed by a sexual predator? Both the obvious kind of signs that you might know already, plus the more subtle kind of sneaky, insidious signs. By the way, if you've clicked on this grooming video for tips on how to trim your beard, you're going to be bitterly disappointed and potentially traumatised. But sit back, relax, grab the time stone, and welcome to A Psych for Sore Minds. So, according to a Mail Online article, and I'll put a link in the description below, a former training partner of Zara Phythian said that she, the actress and the martial artist, was groomed by this married martial artist when she was just 14 and he was 37. So apparently not only was she groomed by him, but she accepted him as her master and then later engaged in a sexual affair with him. And according to this particular source, they underwent this ceremony and she actually bowed to him and she recited some like traditional verses and she swore allegiance to him. And this man, their trading partner, said, and I quote, "This ceremony is taken very seriously in the martial arts world." He also said that he, as in Marke, took an instant shine to her and devoted a lot of time and energy on her development. And it was obvious that she was his favourite pupil and she worshipped the ground that he walked on. And then this man, this training partner, this source, he added, "It was very odd when we found out that he and Zara were in a relationship because of their age difference. Juliet was devastated because she was left alone to bring up their baby." Presumably, I'm assuming Juliet is the wife of Marke. And then this is quite important. The source added that Victor groomed Zara as well as his other victims, and he used power and influences as a master of martial arts to dominate and control young girls. So let's step back for a bit. We're really getting a picture of who Marke is as a person. He's obviously somebody who lacks empathy, who's got very loose morals. He's possibly quite manipulative and charming because to have all these young students, all these young girls around him and to have the confidence of his parents, he must have had those character traits. The other thing that really strikes me about this and is very common in the world of grooming is the abuse of the power dynamic. So I'm sure that he would have given a lot of the pupils, a lot of the parents, this false sense of security because he's a Taekwondo trainer. And we see this all the time, it's really common. We saw it in the case of Jimmy Savile and the way that he used his power dynamic when he went around to hospitals and ostensibly did all this charity work. If you're interested in that case, by the way, you've got to go and check out my psychoanalysis of Jimmy Savile. I've done another video on him talking about a recent documentary on my man Sean Atwood's channel about him. Another recent example that cannot be ignored is Tim Westwood. So he's somebody who definitely preyed upon women who wanted to make it in the music industry. And again, we're seeing this imbalance of power, this misuse of their position. So recently, Phythian and her Taekwondo master husband were jointly charged. I mean, I call him a Taekwondo master, but my code, the way that I live my life is that I'm never quite scared of a man named Victor. But anyway, Marke, who's age 59, and Phythian, now 36, are jointly charged with 14 historic counts of sexual activity with the girl over a space of 3 years. And, this is mind-blowing, she was only 13 when it started. There are horrible details about what actually happened sort of sexually between the three of them. I'm not going to go into them because it's just disgusting, but if you're interested, you can find it quite easily online. Separately, Marke, the husband, was also charged with 4 counts of indecency for assaulting another girl who was aged 15 at the time between 2000 and 2003. The couple themselves have denied all the charges, but a jury found them guilty following a trial at Nottingham Crown Court. And the consequences are that Phythian has been jailed for 8 years. Marke was handed a 14-year sentence at Nottingham Crown Court. So I think the reason that this particular story has caught the attention of the press, and the reason that it's probably garnered more attention than maybe it should have, was because Zara Phythian, the 36-year-old star, she got this like extra press attention because she's kind of semi-famous. She featured in the 2016 Marvel superhero film Doctor Strange along Jenna-Doet Funderlach, Randesmich Funderdach, Krendebich Stenderdich Bunderlach. Nailed it. But joking aside, this is a tragic case because if what this source is saying is true, and if Phythian was groomed, then somewhere down the line she also adopted Marke's lack of empathy, his very loose moral compass, shall we say, and also herself ended up ironically abusing the power dynamic. That's if everything that is said was accurate. Remember, it is the Mail Online. So, what do you think, Psych for Sore guys? Do you accept that Phythian was a victim herself? And if so, does that help understand her behaviour, or does it even go as far as excusing her behaviour? What do you think? Okay, I'm going to change topics now, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the signs of grooming are that you need to spot if you want to protect your children, protect your loved ones. I'm going to talk about some obvious ones and also some more subtle ones. So, obvious ones first. Your child has been given unexpected gifts like new toys or clothes, but crucially is quite reluctant to talk about where the gift is coming from. Another one would be lots of messages from somebody that they know online. And if it's like an older child or an adult that wants to spend time with them, but they're very reluctant or sort of secretive, because often when the grooming occurs, the perpetrator convinces the victim that their relationship is like secret or special, so it needs to be kind of hidden from parents, hidden from family, etc. Another sign might be that the victim or the child spends a lot more time in their room. So maybe there used to be, I don't know, fun and frolics at the dinner table, but now it's kind of lonely microwave dinners in front of the TV for the parents. Another sign might be skipping school or missing out on previous social activities like sports. Although that's what usually happens, I think ironically it might have been different in the case of Zara Phythian because she got more into her taekwondo as she was being groomed. And a huge sign is not wanting other people around when they're doing their new activities, or specifically when they're with that person, including a new boyfriend or girlfriend. And the reason being is because the groomer often pushes other people away. So the groomer convinces the groomee that they're special and that their time together needs to be kind of protected, but it's all BS, it's all sexual exploitation. Because think about it, I imagine Victor Marke wouldn't have wanted other people around while he was, doing this special training with Zara Phythian when he was actually just grooming her. Okay, so those are the obvious things. What about the more clandestine, sneaky, subtler kind of signs that we need to look out for? Before I tell you about that, I just want to quickly introduce you to my channel, Psych for Sore Minds. It's a smorgasbord of topics related to true crime with a little sprinkling of psychiatry. I look at celebrity cases, high profile cases like Jimmy Savile, Charles Bronson, Ronnie Cray, all on my channel. Sometimes I interview people who've got experience of mental health issues. Sometimes I talk about wider subjects related to criminality. I implore you to subscribe to my channel. Not only does it help me out immeasurably, but it actually cures hay fever. I'll put down the links of some of my favorite videos in the description so you can go chickadee check it out. Okay, so what are the more sneaky, clandestine, subtler signs in terms of behavior? Some of it might actually be behavior towards the parents. So the perpetrator might offer to take the child to like sports clubs or activities, or maybe camping or babysitting. And obviously some of this is just to get the child alone so they have an opportunity to carry out the abuse. But also on top of that, some of it is just trying to spend time around the child so that the child lets their guard down and kind of desensitizes the child to the presence of that particular person. And a huge telltale sign might be that they play innocently with your child in a non-sexualized way when you're around, such as wrestling or cuddling. And again, this is to get you used to them being around, but it's also to get the child used to physical contact. Again, it's to like desensitize them so that the abuse can crawl in subtly. Also, the perpetrator might offer to do things for your family, like repairs or gardening. So they're just really trying to ingratiate themselves into your lives to lower their defenses. So lower your defenses, I should say. So obviously, I'm not saying that if anybody's nice to you, that they're a sexual predator. They could also be a terrorist. So if you're interested in this kind of slightly morbid topic, I've done psychoanalysis of the abuse allegations against Marilyn Manson. I've done another video talking about grooming and the biggest scandal in UK history related to child safety, which occurred in Rotherham. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, especially from the UK. I've done a video covering that. Look out for the links below. Okay, so I'm about to conclude. I think when we look at this story of Zara Phythian, it's easy to marvel at such a strange story that keeps us Cumberbatch for more. Sorry, I won't do that again. Okay, so what do we learn in this episode? We learn the details of that case of Zara Phythian, Victor Marke. If what has been reported is true, then it is kind of sad to a degree that she herself was a victim, and then she's adopted his very dodgy dodgy kind of outlook and approach and abuse. If she was a victim herself. We learn about grooming behaviour between the perpetrator and children, and even the perpetrator and parents. And we learned that you cannot trust your friendly neighbours. That's all I have to say. Stay euthymic. Buy my book, it's dope. It's got a lot of my personal cases and my experience of assessing mentally disordered offenders in courts and prisons and psychiatric units. Not only will it educate you, but it will make me a tiny, tiny bit of money. And if you can't read good, there's an audio version on Audible. Please watch more of my videos, tell your friends and enemies to subscribe to this channel. I need more subs, I need love, because I'm a very shallow person. Until next time, go check me out at CrimeCon as well in June in London, a huge crime convention. You can get 10% off your ticket if you use the code in the link below, and you can hear me talk about some of the most fascinating cases there at CrimeCon. Do not forget, stay euthymic, but most importantly, I love you.